You show this.
Well, I thought you had it. Right. So Mother's just going to quickly grab at the paperwork. Oh, what's on? Hang on a minute. So hello everybody. Welcome to MRW News Show. This is a news show we have every week on either Saturday or Sunday, but majority of the time it's Sunday because I'm busy on a Saturday. But it's just sort of gives me a bit of a leeway in case I'm busy on a Sunday, so you know, or I'm free, you know. Anyway, that's the point. So welcome everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and if you enjoyed this, comment below any opinions you have, because we've got some very interesting stories today, like really interesting. We just got hello both. We've got good evening, or hello. So hello everybody, welcome. Mother's just gone to get my papers because I forgot them, but I sort of thought she brought them. But yeah, you can sort of see a bit of the stories we've got today on the thing. I've just said a bit about them on my bio. No, it's not bio. I don't know what you call it. Anyway, caption? I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know. We had a very busy week this week. I had a very busy week this week. I went racing, didn't I? Oh, Barb and Hill Climb. And my times actually have come through. Now, she probably hasn't brought my times, actually. I might have to go get them, but she can read the comments. I don't suppose you bought my times list, did you?
No.
No.
I'll go up and get it in a minute.
I'll go up and get my time list.
You don't get this with Patrick Christie, honestly.
Hey, he does loads of things.
Well, don't forget his news.
I think he does.
One thing to do when you've forgotten it. It'll take me ages to get on, so you just have to whitter.
And we met the King this week. We did meet the King, so we're talking about that. But we did Barb and Hill Climb. Now, can I just quickly go get my times?
No, let me
I just can't really talk about my times.
I can't do anything. I can't even get on. Alright, let me just check that I can get on.
She's getting on. Sorry, we've just had a few technical issues. Right. You ready?
Yes.
Right.
I'm on.
I'll be as quick as possible. She read the comments. So just comment.
I can't get on. So, aha! Right, I'm on. Hi, Alan. Hi, Dave. Hi, Anders. Hi, Big B230. And hello, Guy. So, plenty of regulars on. She's gone to get a time. She went to Barb and Hill Climb yesterday. Oh, it's absolutely wonderful. She had an absolutely brilliant time. A lot of you were obviously on and watching it. And she came third. So she didn't come last. Hill Climbs was really good to watch, and thank you for watching it. Yeah, it was great. She's getting better and better. So yeah, there was loads on. I think she had about 4,000 watching it, so it's pretty incredible. So she's just waiting now. Sorry about this. She's gone to get her time, so I don't know where on earth she's gone. So we've been talking about that. Talking about she went to see King Charles also, and did that on Monday. So she interviewed a few people. That's coming out on a podcast which is called Beyond Expectations. I just don't know. I think she's coming now. So that's another thing to look for, and she's got some very exciting news for today. She's finally back. Right, I've whittered.
Good for you.
I've whittered for your news show.
Thank you. Right, I've got my times. I can't show you them exactly because I show other people's personal information as well as my own. So, right.
Those are public.
Are they?
What, all that? Just that?
Anyway, it doesn't matter. It
It's
doesn't matter. No, it's not, because it shows where they live, their names, and what they own and everything. Right. So, I came. Ready for this? There's four people in my class, which classes are like your engines and stuff, you know, that sort of stuff.
Class. Your engine. So she's in an intro class, which is the car's just got to be standard. That's it. So you could have like a 4-litre car or a 1-litre car that go against each other.
So I could be against like.
Well, last year she was against a Subaru Impreza, and she had a 1-litre Micra. But it doesn't matter for her because she's never going to beat another 1-litre Micra yet, are you?
I didn't come last.
I
came third in class, and there was 4 altogether. I came third in class.
Yeah, she did third in class.
And there was 71 altogether, and I came 69.
See, she's doing well.
I didn't come last.
She did. The main thing, she beat somebody and they hadn't broken down.
No. So my first time, this is not counting the practice, I think. My time won. How many times did I do? I'm sure I did more than 5. But anyway, I won't argue. My first time was 50 seconds, 0.3. So you know that's that. 47 seconds. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh! Oh, I never actually worked out which was my fastest lap.
Oh no!
No.
Oh, I am sorry.
Right, so my last lap of the
Hi
day.
Adrian, we're going to be going through quite a lot now if you want to make us, brew or anything like that.
This is very important news. Right, hello Adrian. Right, listen Adrian. My last lap of the day, which I did this live, so my last lap of the day was 47 seconds, 0.48.
Well done, you.
I did. I did.
Adrian says he'll put the kettle on.
But on my second time lap, I did 47.91 seconds.
Yeah.
So I've knocked off quite a lot of points there.
You certainly have. You've done very, very well.
I've knocked off a lot of points there indeed. So I've done really, really well there. Now the slowest time altogether was, I'm going to presume, is 57.7 seconds was the slowest. I'll just check through them though. I believe it was 57 seconds. Let me see my sec. Yeah, I think that was the slowest time. So I didn't do the slowest time either. I did quite a respectable one because I was inside the 40s. I did quite respectable.
Thank you very much. We have done absolutely no interesting news whatsoever.
I did extra my time, so that's really interesting.
Well, Guy clearly thinks so.
Exactly, it's just you doesn't.
It says, well done, Matilda. Keep you doing well and having fun. You're a superstar, Guy.
Yes, thank you very much for that. Very nice of you. Thank you.
Thank you
very much indeed. Very nice. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yes, and times were 47.43 seconds. So yes, thank you for that.
You're a
Thank you very
superstar,
much.
Guy.
Indeed. Thank you. Right, go on then.
Right, we're going to start off with possibly, I think, one of the most upsetting stories I've ever heard about, really, in my eyes. It makes me cry now, so if I cry, I'm sorry if she cries. And I'm sure Billy won't mind saying that when he found out he didn't know this lady, he cried. It's absolutely shocking. So also saying that for a trigger warning for people, when you watch this video, you're going to be really, really upset. And what it is, it's a lady called Amanda, and you tell her how we first met about your podcast. You went down, didn't you, to meet her? We didn't know well at all. You just asked about a podcast.
Yeah,
didn't
so
you?
Amanda opened a craft shop, or hash workshop sort of
Beautiful shop.
It was inside the old charity shop, and so she opened it in there. And the old charity shop, the charity shop was great, but I think it did need a lot of doing up, especially down in town to sell it. I think, at least I remember rightly. But all I think is, I think she did do a lot of work on it. So she did that, and she opened it. And on the open day, they said that a man from Sowerby was coming.
A famous man was coming to open it.
So I just went and asked her and said, oh, would you be interested in doing the interview? And she said, oh yeah, interview for the shop and that. When it came up to the day, she actually didn't do the interview for the shop because you just said I'm a bit too busy. So she didn't do it. But that's how we met her, basically. And we knew through that.
And she messaged me and said, can we do something later? But the thing was, she was doing an event. And we struggle with the podcast because you can't just do it for business, because obviously there's paying customers, so it had to be events. So I just said to her, I says, oh yeah, the problem is it's got to be something. She says, oh well, in the future I'll be doing something, let's keep in touch. And that was that. She was a lovely, pleasant person, and the shop when we went was it was lovely, wasn't it? Yeah, really nice, really talented woman.
And then obviously sometimes you see around town as well, you know.
Yeah,
but
so what I'm saying is we didn't know her, did we? But
no.
We knew of her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, do you want to?
So then she came to Bentham. Her daughter died very, very young of cancer. I think she was 20 years old when she died. And obviously, this was devastating for her, as obviously it would be. So she tried to get on with life as much as she could do. And she came to Bentham. She opened this lovely shop. And then she got bullied. And it's just heartbreaking. And this is what she wrote on one of the things. And it said that her life in Bentham had been made unbearable. 2 women in particular have been especially cruel. They created a whole evil persona for me that bears no relation to who I actually am, but seems to be mainly based around the words fake and victim. I wake up each morning and have to remember that Jenny is dead. That is her daughter that she's talking about. Then I have to find the strength to walk down the high street knowing that there's a good chance that I'll be ignored or have spiteful comments made about me. dog crap left on my shop doorstep, endless quotes on Facebook, cruel letters put through my door, and more lately have my shop invaded. There's nowhere left for me to go to have peace. Now, we didn't know this was happening to this lady because we would have been straight down there. It makes me cry to think that she was so close and we could have done something. Because what she did was, which I'm going to really struggle to say without crying, she went to Switzerland and she's ended her life. And this is the video of her, which was scheduled. So this video was put out. She's not alive anymore, so it's really upsetting for people. I understand that. Please be aware of it. But just before you do it, I really feel that this should be shown. It's on public anyway, so you can go on it. Anybody can go on it. But there have been some nice people say on her site, we should just flood it with nice things like crochet and stuff. But in my opinion, this lady hasn't put this out for that reason. She's put it out for it not to happen to other people, you know, for what happened to her. So this video that we're showing is public anyway, public viewing. She's put it out public, and she's done it for a reason. So as I say, it's got a trigger warning with it because it is mightily upsetting. And here it is.
Sorry, I'm just gonna, because it will constantly turn itself on and off again. Sorry, give me a second. Okay. Is it 20? Which one is it?
It's the latest one. It's on it. You got it?
Yeah. Right.
I'm in Basel in Switzerland, and I'm recording it on Tuesday, but you won't be seeing it till Wednesday the 11th. And by the time you see this, I'll be with my Jenny. So I know this is going to be a bit of a shock to some of you. I'm going to just keep this video short because I don't want any problems. I'm pre-scheduling it to upload, so I don't want there to be a problem with that. But so I'll say more in the caption. I'll write more about why and where and so on. But I just wanted to say in the video to the people who've been my friends on here for so long and supported Jenny and I through everything and been there for me since she died, how much it means to me and how you've helped me keep going. And I've tried really hard, but I just can't keep going anymore. So I wanted to say thank you. And as I say, I'll write more in the caption below. I love you. Bye-bye, loves.
So obviously that's extremely upsetting, and this lady had been so badly bullied obviously to do that. And when she put this out on a site, so this site came scheduled, so when that actually came out, the lady was dead. And this is what somebody from Bentham put. This is on the page. We don't want off-comedens in our village that badly taint. I've been here 58 years and my families and families before them never have things like this happened. There's one more too that needs to leave that our village is best without. That is what some, and the names is for clear. I'm not going to put any names out or say anything, even though it's as clear, it's on public domain. Because from what I've read, and I've read every single comment, there's thousands of comments, and I've read them all before I did the news story. And from what I've read, I haven't any proof of it. There's a police investigation, so I can understand that for the bullying and the harassment and everything like that. But that name's as clear as anything. That is a post that somebody put on that video from Bentham. And then there's been other things said. There's been other people mentioned, but as I say, I have no evidence of that, so I'm certainly not mentioning any names. But it's just absolutely horrific. I just find it absolutely unbelievable. And there's people then that have put, this is another comment, this is all for everybody to see. As Bentham is, and always will be my hometown, I never recall anything happening like this before. Social media can be a dangerous place. Well, this happened less than a year ago when they hounded the people out of the pub just because they weren't paying their, weren't paying the licence to the council. And here, is another comment about that very situation, and this is a public thing as well. And this has happened about a year ago, and it says Bentham is a very close-knit community and it's very welcoming. Until one or more decide they don't like someone, then it turns into a nest of vipers because of that close-knit community clubbing together. It's always been like this and always will be. It's okay these comments saying I've never had any problems. For a start, you don't have people wanting rid of you, and you have not had slanderous remarks or stupid, narrow-minded complaints made against you. Before this came to Facebook, people are very discriminative against some members of the family on more than one occasion, and I have seen racial reviews on Google. So that was about a family that had a pub down the bottom. So this has happened before, hounding people. They went, and there was a prosecution, which we covered on the news, wasn't there, saying it was racial. Because there was racial abuse. And now this has happened. This lady, it's been so bad. This lady is gone. And I just think it's absolutely unbelievable. She didn't have enough on her plate, losing a daughter, to have something like that. And a few people have commented on the post. Not many at all, only a couple. Saying that it was her fault and stuff like that, and that she was mental health issues and everything like that. But there's a clear post there. There's a clear post that says, and if somebody's got the strength to open a shop like that when the daughter's died, I couldn't carry on. So she's obviously a very strong woman.
She's got it for 8 years,
and it's clear that she loved her daughter dearly. Yeah, she loved her daughter dearly. But
by the sounds of things, that was her only,
There's only family, from what I've read. I've read every single. I've studied this for hours and hours and hours, so I get everything right. And she clearly absolutely loved her daughter. The majority of people do, some don't. So it's clear to say she absolutely adored her daughter, but she still had the strength after her death at 20 years old. I mean, that's just horrific, to carry on. And she turned it around into a positive, and she was getting on, and she got this shop and everything like that. I couldn't personally do that. That is a very, very strong person. So the people are saying, oh, she had mental health problems, she should going out screaming in the street and stuff like that. That's not somebody as strong as that. Somebody strong that can do that. But why didn't they support her? Why? So what I'm saying is, so she's then going to make the decision to kill herself, which is obviously a strength, isn't it? I couldn't do it. I'm too soft. I couldn't do it. She's gone and done that. So she doesn't need to drag anybody else in. You know what I mean? She doesn't need to lie about anybody because she's already made that decision to it. So that she's been pushed to the edge. And I just thought it's a story that's just absolutely horrific. I just find it. I found out about it just over 2 days ago. Now I can't stop thinking about it. It makes me feel sick. And I'm so fuming that they've done this. And I know the person that wrote that post, and I know what they're like, and I can totally believe it. And the other people that have been mentioned, I can totally believe it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you just sort of sometimes know, don't you?
I totally believe it. I mean,
there's people, that I've talked to before, and talked to them, and they say, before, way before this happened, and saying about how horrible it's been with people in here, live here.
Well, we know we've been so badly bullied, and two of them, one got a conviction. Sarah Malkinson got a conviction, a caution, because she was coming down the street calling me a skank, and telling me, no, they always do this, nobody wants you in Bentham, they always do that, and you have no friends. It's a classic 2-line thing. My ex's sister, she's got a harassment order, and the other one that'll be coming out that's on there, Marcella, and I know that lady, Amanda, and she said, and I fear to walk down the street without getting abused. I can see it because it happened to me. I can see it totally in what she's saying. She's not lying in any way, shape or form. What she's saying has happened to her.
Wasn't she inside another town and then got...
That was what one of the comments tried to make out, that she'd been in another town and said that it happened, a close town. Nobody's mentioned about that though. Not the amount of people that have now. That she was in another town that it happened, and the comment implied, oh, that's what she says. She says it happened in one town. Well, it does happen, because when you get towns that are close together, a lot of the community is close-knit, so they'll have family in that area or friends in that area, so they'll go and say something and then it'll spread. So that often does happen. So there's nothing to say she hasn't been bullied, but there's never been I've lived in many places and never been bullying like there is here. It's horrific. And I just hope that it comes out of this.
Well, you've lived, yeah, I know, yeah.
But it says on that comment, there's another lady.
Well, she says this too, doesn't
Yeah,
she?
so
And-
I'd like to know if anybody's watching and that lady
Well,
is
she also
watching,
says that
I would like you to contact us because we can't have another one. Because that's what it says, what she's put on the post. She's put, we don't want off-condoms in our village. And that's the other thing about it as well. Not obviously something as serious this, that she's died. But they go about the off-condoms. They're so stupid. They don't realise that the village won't be here without off-condoms, as they call them. It's an insult, isn't it? Because they bring money into the area, don't they? People, there won't be enough people to live in the houses. There won't be the people coming in. There won't be the people that live here that go out to work, that pay the council tax. They're so stupid. But that's what she's put. We don't want off condoms in this village that badly taint. Badly, not like she doesn't. I've been here 58 years, probably a bit too long then. And my families and families before them never have things like this happened. Well, no, it's never pushed so far that somebody's actually killed themselves. But you don't know that because some people could have been bullied so badly here, moved and killed themselves. It's only because of the internet that she's been able to put
and
this.
also she had quite, I don't know, but she had quite a good internet following.
She's got massive following.
She's got massive following, so they've all seen it. So that's why it's all come to
and
light.
I think that's part of it because you get the more followers you get, the more success you get, the more you get jumped on. Now she's had no support from family members because she hasn't. From what I've clearly read, she has no other family apart from her daughter. She's on her own. And a really interesting post that she put while she was still alive. She put a post about being bullied before she came out with what she was going to do. And because I've looked back on all the posts, and this lady put, I can't understand this. She didn't say she was lying or didn't believe her or whatsoever. She said, I can't understand this. My husband and I moved here 28 years ago and we've never had any trouble. And Amanda put, you've said it in the sentence, your husband and you, they won't bully a man. So she said, I haven't got a husband. I was on my own and I was vulnerable. And that's true. I mean, if you lived with a level of sort of Tyson Fury, no one's going to come up and have a go at you, are they? Do you know what I mean? That's what they're going to do, isn't it? They're not going to pick on you.
And the other thing to say about
they pick
outsiders,
on the most vulnerable.
Like I said, it was a charity shop. The high street's just going downhill so fast.
Oh, yeah.
And she opened a shop because that high street's got a few shops at the top, but down the bottom they've all been going. But she opened the one that was closed.
Yeah.
So she's bringing stuff in, and also the shop she opened was a community shop. I mean, she running everything, but she was welcoming community in to do art. But yet, Well,
there's a really good shop down there. It's called the Black Bicycle, and that's got a nice frontage. It's got nice displays in front of it. So if you're going to walk around the shops in Bentham, which there are very few, you come down there and you'll look, if you weren't from Bentham, there's no more shops. So if you see that, you go down, there's this Black Bicycle, that's a nice shop. And then there was hers, which was beautiful, wasn't it? So you got more of a little bit of a high street, if you get what I mean, to go around. But now that's gone. So it affects all the business, doesn't it? I mean, obviously the priority is her, that she's gone. But doing stuff like that, and people are absolutely horrified.
Yeah, she's come in to try. She's come in to make everything better.
Yeah.
She was literally making that street better by the fact of opening that shop and make it look nice. And then they've taken that away now because now obviously
and the crafters that went in. I mean, you did keep saying you were going, and I know that you've been so busy, we just haven't had a chance. But in winter time, when things drop off, that could have been ideal for you. So they've taken everything. But there's absolutely no reason for them to take it because she's an off-cumden. It's just mental. It's just jealousy. It makes me feel. The story makes me feel sick, and I just
according
so bad.
to her, she put 2 craft women, didn't she? So it's probably also because of I mean, if she's craft, she's good.
Yeah, but
people
it's not
be jealous of craft and stuff.
It's not craft women, is it?
Yeah, but that's what she put.
Oh, I know she put that, but we know the perpetrator, the main perpetrator. We know the perpetrator that's put that comment, and they are the nosiest person ever. They're into everybody else's business, so it's not just the fact they do. It's not. You can't basically say that a craft person would do that.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's just all part of it, isn't it? It's like
she said when this person joined an alternative group, that's when it started really bad for her. But it's just horrific. Even if she was in the wrong, which I don't believe, I 100% believe everything she's put. Even if she was in the wrong, and you've been nasty to her or whatever, and it got to the stage that she killed herself. I couldn't imagine anybody not having the empathy to say, oh my God, I pushed that too far. Oh, am I sorry? Not to put that post on. I just find it, I find it heartbreaking. No, it's all about them.
Sympathy.
I just find it absolutely, unbelievably awful. So Abby says, just shows the effects of bullying and harassment. I think most people who lose a child would have some form of mental health problems. Well, exactly. I mean, I would. I think I'd be screaming down the street and everything. I wouldn't be able to function. I think she's done massively well to function.
Yeah.
Adrian, thank you so much.
Yes.
You're an absolute superstar.
Thank you very much for that, Adrian.
And he says,
thank you very much.
Proud to support you.
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you.
Matilda, and we're proud to have you as
Yes,
our
very
first member, and you're absolutely wonderful, and thank you so much, Adrian.
Really supported me for a very long time, so thank you for doing that. Thank you very much.
And Abby says, if only someone could have stopped her from going to Switzerland. There's been loads and loads of people, apparently. Well, there was definitely, the support on the page is absolutely unbelievable for her. There's only a few idiots on there that have said awful comments. The support is unbelievable. People like us, I've said I just wish we'd gone down there, not thinking that I could have saved her or anything like that, but it just could have been that one more person, you know. If we'd have gone down and said, oh, come on, let's get this podcast done, you know, it could have just been that one more person. She thought, oh yeah, it's not as bad here. And also she could have said, oh, about bullying, and I said, hang on a minute, I can chat to you about that, and she might not have felt as alone. But there were loads of people that have supported her, Abby, but she'd made it her mind that she was going to do it, obviously. Mark's Random Curiosity says, evening. Chris is on. Dave says, are all the nasty comments being made by women or a mixture? From what I've heard, Dave, as I said, I don't like to say anything because the only evidence I've got is that one. The others are just people saying it was these people. These two names have come up constantly, and they're all female. So, yeah. I just think it's, I just really, oh, sorry, that's my, because I wasn't on. I just think it's one of the most upsetting stories that I've ever heard about. I think it's, and it's.
Well, she said, she actually put inside the thing as well, she said that she wanted to move, but she didn't have the money to do it as well.
Because she'd done it before, and that's what that person put, basically implying from their comment that this is what she does. You know, she goes to a town and says people bully her. Well, we've been bullied in more than one town. You know, you can get bullied. You know, like people get raped. They can get raped by more than one time. It doesn't mean to say it hasn't happened. And if people are, some people just attract bullies, don't they? You know, they see that vulnerable side in them. So somebody that's been bullied will generally get bullied again.
Yeah.
So just because something happens or somebody says something's happened a couple of times doesn't mean to say it hasn't happened.
No.
It can mean it's more likely to have happened. But yeah.
And also you see more signs of it then because you've had it, then you pick it up more as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So.
Guy says, Matilda, can I moderate, please? Because there have been some rude comments. Well, the reason we haven't moderated is because we didn't want to stop the flow of the conversation with it being so important. The live chat isn't seen afterwards, and people know that there's idiots on channels. The trolls will always put stupid stuff. I haven't had time to moderate. It was obviously us two on. Adrian says, on June the 1st last year, I saw you live for the first time. So you're going to be around. You're going to be coming around for a year, or you're going to be over a year, Adrian.
Oh, was it like? Oh, what's that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You did, yeah. That's funny. That must mean that the fringe is a little bit later this year.
Yeah. So that's that story, and obviously, if that lady does that is going to be bullied, it has been bullied. Sorry. Wants to make contact, I'll always be there. I won't take any nonsense with stuff like that. It's happened to us. And you know, if anybody else is getting that in their area, there's always somebody else. We hear a lot because Billy goes out and stuff like that. He says, oh, you won't believe what so and so said about so and so. You won't believe what so and so's done to so and so. It happens to everybody because people who get bullied become more insular. They think it only happens to them, and it gets worse, but it doesn't. It happens everywhere. I've never known anywhere as bad as this, but it does. So don't think you're alone. Anyway, thank you to all that listen to that. That obviously put pleasant comments and not the ones that put stupid comments. So yeah, So, my tea says, do you have someone else that'll be in the car with you and moderate? Well, no, not really. Just don't, employ somebody. Plus, the nasty comments still help the channel get pushed by YouTube. They'll go if they're not getting attention. Yeah. So I wasn't, if people want to put stuff on there, people are mature enough that are watching this. They watch the actual content of what we're saying about Amanda and her, what she did, why she did it, to put her voice out. Otherwise, why didn't she just go to Switzerland and not tell anybody? She's put that out to stop it from happening to somebody else, for us to talk about it. So I think the people are watching it are mature enough not to get upset by stupid idiots on trolls putting daft comments. I can't moderate when I'm chatting about something. It's simple as, and I am not wasting my time going all the way back up checking comments. The other thing is if you moderate quickly and you don't get the context of when the, but you could accidentally hide a decent person, which I don't want to do. So moderating will be back on now. Chris says, I think if we all report the people that make stupid and horrible comments, YouTube should take their channel down. If you report enough, they will do. If anybody's really bothered about it, just report it.
Yeah, you could enjoy it. Think, oh my God. Just don't get too overexcited.
Yeah, I honestly, you can turn the live comments off. Honestly, you can turn it off. Price says you don't need moderators, it's freedom of speech. I haven't seen any comments, as I say, because the video was playing of Amanda, and I can't go on my iPad when something's playing. But we're all for freedom of speech. Everyone can say it, as long as it's not personal or illegal or racist or anything like that. The comments stay on, I'm afraid.
It's just trolls, they like to get personal and
it gets silly if somebody puts the same over and over again and it's spoiling it for everybody else.
It's not freedom of speech. You're not saying, well, my opinion on that story is this. They're not doing that freedom of speech. You're just doing random stuff.
Yeah.
But right. Yes.
And they're not getting any attention. Nobody, when they put stupid things, I didn't read it. I didn't say anything. So I don't know what they've put. But if they put something really awful about her, like that woman did on the Bentham thing, nobody's decent is going to worry about that. They're just going to think they're scum of the earth. Guy says there was something said, is it pink? I don't understand that. YTU says we don't have freedom of speech in the UK, that's a USA. Oh no, it's getting worse, isn't it? Isn't it?
Mm. What's the next stories?
Oh yeah, it works on absolutely brilliant to freedom of speech.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So we saw the King, but we'll tell you about that later because it's rolled on to freedom of speech with this one.
So we saw the King, and there's some protesters there. So I'm going to show you the video. But we talk. So here you go.
This is Republic, I think.
Yeah.
Asset, and yet we allow them to take £27 million of profit from the duchy.
I've just spoken to the police. I would rip that out of your hand, but they would arrest me. So
hang on a second. Why can't?
What's happened?
Just give me a sec. Yeah.
Profit from the duchy.
I've just spoken to the police. I would rip that out of your hand, but they would arrest me. So that's the only reason.
Good, I'm glad of that. Well, you're intolerant and unpleasant. So why don't you leave us alone?
Oh dear, I will do. Yes.
Right, goodbye.
But I'm just giving the opinion.
Right. Anyway, we're doing an interview.
We'll do a quick chat. Thank you. And the next one is going to, and obviously, well, we just saw kind of an incident that I've spoken to people over there who are disappointed, let's say, but you are here. What's your message to the supporters?
I'm disappointed that Charles is here. I'm disappointed that he's ripping us off £27 million from Lancaster, £500 million every year. Protest is not only legitimate and reasonable, it's absolutely necessary when we're challenging an institution like the monarchy. And there will be a bunch of people here that don't care. I was standing next to a lovely monarchist just along here who was, we were having a nice chat, and she's absolutely on.
So at the event, a lot of people saying, oh, it's ridiculous that they're here and stuff. But for starters, if you're a monarchist protester, you're not going to go to Scotland and go in front of it's
a fishing talk or something.
You're going to go to
there.
That's the very place you're going to protest at. So there wasn't, and freedom of speech. People saying, oh, they should move them on. Well, that's like a dictator, isn't it? Because of they shouldn't have to. They're allowed to be there. They should be allowed to protest because if that's their opinion. Also, it is fact that obviously our taxes go to the monarchy, so that's their money going. So they have a right to say about it, don't they?
So do people think that lady was right or wrong?
But the main thing about this is that
Comment about
lady.
it. Yeah, this is why we're saying it, because she interrupted. So we've obviously gone, we were asked to do a part of Matilda's podcast on there. That's why we initially went, and then we did the YouTube video for Matilda. Obviously went live. It's a great video, absolutely successful. So the King come in, even moves things on as well, because you got your CD on GB News, you got your viewing figures, which builds your business, doesn't it? So there's a knock-on effect, what I'm trying to say. So it does bring...
Well, the businesses met the king.
Businesses met the king. So obviously we're on the side that it's great. He come, we stayed there 5 hours. We would have liked him, obviously, to meet Matilda, but that didn't happen, and that's that. So obviously the Republic, some of them have got to pay taxes, like we all do. So they've got a right to know whether... They've got a right, haven't they? To say, if they don't agree, they've got a right, and they were being fine. But Cameron Walker, his job depends on the royal family, because he's a royal correspondent. So he's clearly going to be on the royal side, isn't he? And even he went up and he said, you know, as freedom of speech, he interviewed them, and they both talked, even though they were completely opposing sides. One for the monarchy, one against it. They both could chat like adults, fine, and say that. So, what's your opinion? And Cameron said, didn't he? There's a lot of people that don't agree with you up there. What's your opinion? That woman coming in an interview and interrupting.
Well, in my interview with Cameron, I got interrupted, didn't I?
Yeah, he's a pain in the
And
neck, wasn't
you know,
he?
you think how annoying that is.
Oh, it's annoying.
You know, it was really rude, and then she was really rude and saying, you know, she said it herself, or I would snatch out their hand, but the police said no. You know, you saying it yourself, you think you're doing a criminal offence, but it's only because the policeman's there.
Oh, the police were good.
The police were quite
you
good
can't
there.
believe you didn't see it, so you've only got her word for it. But the police have turned around and said, if you take that out of his hand, we're going to arrest you. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
Because the police, obviously, I would not say obviously because I can't say it because all of them, but they are there. That is their job. So they're going to
Like,
if they didn't have jobs like that, you know, they're going to want it, aren't they? Obviously, people want job work coming forward. They're going to be on the side of it, I would presume. So them to say, well, no, if you take that off him. And did you see her prod him? She actually physically touched him.
Yeah, she did.
She didn't wait and say, right, afterwards.
And also she said everybody here, you know, doesn't like you. Well, that doesn't.
She said, I'm telling the opinion of most people.
Yeah.
Why are they not capable of telling their own opinion?
And also I was there, so is that my opinion?
Yeah, no, it's not.
No.
My opinion is, I'm a bit on the fence. I agree with the monarchy. And I met him. I was in the Prince's Trust thing. I agree with that because I don't want there to be another way like a president, because I think it's a good way, but I don't mind either way. It wouldn't bother me. But I agree with he should have his view.
I understand, and I understand where he's coming from as well.
He should have his view of his opinion, because why shouldn't he have his view? And I think also things like that, in a funny way, they add to the atmosphere, don't they? So when
it's like when you have people
a little bit of a protest,
more entertainment.
And when they were shouting, majority of people just completely accepted them. So they were shouting, not our king. And then the lot behind us were shouting, he's our king. So it was a right atmosphere, wasn't it, when we were waiting? It added to it.
But the thing is, as well, they were actually really good protesters because they, like, weren't destructive.
Yeah.
Because all they did was, when the king came, and, you know, having, you know, saying the stuff.
Yeah.
They made the noise when Cameron came, but they stopped when he was getting interviewed. And they didn't actually really do anything in between. They just sort of sat there. You know, they weren't being disrupted at all. They stayed inside the bubble, so that, you know, they had their area. They weren't all, you know, going around the place. They were actually really good because they just sort of kept themselves, but still said the point, you know.
Well,
there's so many other worse protesters.
We waited 5 hours, and there was a lady next to me.
They were there before us. They were committed.
And there was a lady next to me. It's chatting away and chatted to her the whole time. Oh, not the whole time, but, you know, throughout the day while we're waiting. And she said, oh, aren't they annoying coming? And they shouldn't be allowed to come. And I said, well, why not? And she said, well, disrupting it. I said, well, they're not really disrupting it. I said, but what, you know, would you ban them? And I said, because if you ban them, then Jubilee was protesting about hospital closing. Where do you draw the line of people that cannot make the view of a point? And I said, you know, obviously if they were going mad, then no. And she said, oh yeah, I suppose so. I think some people just don't think of the seriousness. If you decide to start banning one person just because you don't agree with their opinion.
Well, I was chatting to...
I mean, obviously, if it's something like paedophiles are us or something like that, you know.
Yeah,
kill them.
Yeah.
You know, but when it's just something that people are just making their opinion on.
Yeah, but it's also quite a valid, you know, because everybody obviously has an opinion because of, you say, oh, why should you give them money, but then they're going to obviously bring money back in, so it's like I don't know what the word is, like, I can't think of the word, but, you know, it's a bit difficult, but you can understand where they're coming from, it's their money, but, so you can understand why they're protesting, but I was talking to somebody afterwards as well, because there's a reason why I was, like, I'm talking to them, but they were saying about it, about the fact that it shouldn't have been there, and I said the same thing as you, I said, but, you know, why shouldn't they? They're allowed to protest, and they weren't actually that bad at all. They were perfectly fine. They were quite respectable protesters, but they still got the point, so they were fine. And they were like, oh, well, you know. So yeah, but that's what happened there. But it's just interesting, that woman.
Dave says, whilst I do not agree with them, I believe that they have a right to peaceful protest, which is what is appear to be. UTU says you need to be really careful about what you say. I heard someone getting 18 months for saying something on their YouTube channel. I was shocked. I know you've got to say things that you've definitely get back up with evidence. So for example, like the sad story with Amanda about the person that posted that thing on, I could actually say their name because it is on there, but you've just,
well, it's like you're just reading the comment, aren't you?
yeah, you're reading
the
comment with it, as long as it's in the public domain or you have evidence. So if you said, oh, somebody's coming to my house or something and done such and such, and that was actually truth because you had, say, the police were there and they, you know, there was a record of it, a log number or something. So you've got to be very careful that you don't say anything that's not true. If it's true, there's nothing anybody can do about it. But I know this place is like, for example, everybody knows about it, obviously, is Lucy Connolly. And she said something, didn't she? She removed it afterwards, but that was like inciting violence, wasn't it? And she, you know, obviously there's people that said she's got too long for that, but I think to get her put away for, was it 18 months, she said? I'm sorry, I've forgotten. 18 months. There must have been something a little bit more. So, yeah, but you've got to be careful what you say because anything that we say is backed up, isn't it? You've got evidence for it. And we're very careful not to give names if it's something that we don't know about. For example, like on that post, they are named, the people are named, but we have no evidence that they've done it. We can believe that they've done it, we can think, oh well, that's the sort of thing they do, but we've no evidence. So that's why I wouldn't name them, because there's no evidence of it. All that we say, you can actually go on their site and see it. YT user says, I think the monarchy is good for tourism and the economy. Adrian says, Matilda by royal appointment. Well done, Matilda, great job. YT user says, if we got rid of the monarchy, we'd lose more in terms of exports, people visiting the UK, and GDP.
I suppose it's like,
Adrian's a big fan of the royal family.
I suppose it's like, I suppose it labels what Britain, you know what I mean?
But Abby says the UK wouldn't be the UK without royals, so obviously Abby's for the royals. Chris says, me too. I served Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth for 29 years as an RAF serviceman. Well done, Chris. Guy says, I'd like to see the royal family have everything taken from them and they go to do proper jobs. So there you go, two completely opposing views there, one after another. Why to use the royal family needs some stability. Andrew is a wrong one. Queen passed away, King very ill, etc. One thing I did think about the King when he came, that he had, whoever organised it did give him a lot of work. I mean, the lady that was next to me, she said she was about the same age as me. I think she said about a year older.
I think she said she was older. I think she said.
Not by much. She was absolutely shattered, wasn't she? Standing there. I offered her my chair, but she didn't take it. Oh, I'm so tired. And
we gave her Pringles and grapes.
Yeah, we had to feed her. I didn't realise. I've been there like, so we shared our lunch. That's how kind we are. We shared our lunch with two old elderly ladies, giving them our grapes. So, because I think sometimes you people, you know, if you've sort of like made it yourself sandwiches, it's a bit funny offering a sandwich, but grapes and things like that. So I didn't offer them a sandwich, but we offered, didn't we, grapes and stuff like that. But anyway.
Well, looking, I was thinking when I was packing, I was thinking, should I separate these grapes and Pringles, or should I just bring them inside the pack? And I just did, which is looking up at it.
They were starving, weren't they? So yeah, we shared our dinner with two elderly ladies, but that poor Charles, I think he must have. I think he came up that day on the train. I don't think he came the night before, and then they were just walking him around. The amount of people that he had to see. No wonder he didn't have much time to see the crowd.
All the school kids outside, some of the crowd. He met school kids inside. He met all the businesses. Had to try all the cheese, and Everything really. You know, which is just and I mean, there's more businesses that I met because I know businesses that weren't on all the photos, so there's obviously more there. So
Nathan says hi.
hello. Oh, and also you had Tower Castle as well, and I had to do the key ceremony.
Yeah.
As well, and you probably had dinner. I would have thought you must have had dinner.
Yeah.
Although he finished, you might not have had dinner. You know, he might have just had like snack before. I
Yeah.
don't think he would have had a meal actually. I think he'll just have it on the train.
And Price says, wait, you guys have to pay money to the royal family for them existing. Nobby Noble says, fast forward to 1983, the introduction of the British Nationality Act signified a shift declaring English individuals as British. This is unlawful. Max, IT user says, every person in the UK pays the equivalent of £1.30 a year to pay for the royal family. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got your picture, haven't you, of meeting? Oh, not meeting, of waiting, haven't you? You got in the.
I would have liked to shake his hand over £1.50. I must admit.
Oh, that's your bit now, but you've got your interrupter.
Yes, this is my interrupter. This is my one. Because of Cameron. I don't know whether from the video it looks like Cameron could have been looking at him, but he wasn't looking at him because I was like in eye contact with Cameron, and he never like looked at him, gave him a signal. You know when you're talking and you look at somebody thinking, right, I want you to talk now. They don't. He never did that. So, but anyway, I can't find the video now. Just give me a second. Let me get the video up. So he just basically interrupted me, but I'm just gonna get the video up now. So this is my video of GB News, which about opinions as well. GB News, like they spread both opinions. That's one of the good things about GB News is the fact that they show both opinions, you know, because they interviewed me, for example, people next to me and everything, even though I didn't get to say any opinion because I got interrupted. So here you go. Well, we got here at 8, didn't we? We got here at 8.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's quite early because the king arrived, you know, a few hours after that. So what is it about the royal family that you love and the fact the king is here in Lancaster?
Everything about them. I think they're a wonderful asset to our country, and they show the best of British.
Thank you. And you've got this rose.
We've both got roses.
You've both got roses.
Yes, the red rose of Lancashire to greet him.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Are you hoping to give it to him?
We are.
And what do you hope you will get to say to him if he does come and greet you?
To wish him good health.
Yeah, because of
And
course
to
he's been.
wish all the royal family good health and happiness.
Of course, he's been suffering a bit, hasn't he, at the moment?
Yes. Yes.
And what do you hope he gets to see in Lancaster? Why is this such a great city?
Well, we have the castle, of course, which we love. And then the city of Lancaster, we've lived here all our lives. And it's just a wonderful place. We're all very friendly. And most of us love the royal family.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you. And you've got this? Explain what this is.
This is my album that I've recorded. I'm going to give it to him.
Oh, nice.
And I just want to say I watch you all the time.
Oh,
so,
thank you
nice
so
to meet
much.
you.
Appreciate it. I see your King Charles III flag.
So, well, the thing is, they would have never had the opportunity to be interviewed as well if it wasn't for me.
Oh, she was fuming.
Oh, Cameron. So I recognised Cameron straight away. I was like, oh my God. So I recognised him straight away, and he just shouted out. He just says, "Who's been here the earliest?" So I was straight up my hand because I was, apart from the monarchists, wrong way around. Apart from the anti-monarchists, but they were further down, so we nowhere near to have their point on that bit. But he went down later. But anyway, I put my hand up straight away, like, "Oh yeah, me." And then obviously, you know, I said, "Oh, you know, watch you and stuff." So then he was like interviewing me. But he was there. He was asking me the next question, and he just basically went and talked, and it was just a damn nuisance, like pretty much the whole day, to be honest. But the ladies who got interviewed with the rose, she was very nice, and she was with her friend as well. They were both very nice.
Oh, you were fuming, weren't you?
But I feel like when you're in that crowd, you have to be respectful. Like those two women, we never barged or anything. We never did anything wrong to each other because we respected each other's space, and we made sure, you just have respect. When people don't have respect, it's ridiculous because of then further down, right? They made this barricade thing where you had a special area and there was like a walk to get to it, and then it was like they cornered it off at the beginning of the day. So right early they cornered it off and said, if you line up, we'll open it later on so you can all go up to be near the kings right next to it. So we were waiting. There was 2 women there, or 4, I can't remember, before us. And they arrived early, but they were like not like too far off us. So they were there, and then there was 2 other people as well who arrived. So there was like 4 people there and then 2 people here. We arrived and we just went sort of in between them. We just went in between. Didn't think anything of it. Just went in between them. Then this other guy came for photographer, chatted to him as well. Who's great. So then we were there, right? Then something happened. Which then this is what happened, right? Mother was there right next to this gateway. So this is like this gateway.
It's going then.
Okay, let me explain it.
It's then, Abby. Abby, do you not know? It's then. Right, that's it. That's the final
Give me a
sentence
sec.
you get
Give me a
in.
sec.
You have to make it yourself now, everybody. So this is it. What does she say then? Comments on what she says.
Listen to me.
Then what will you do?
You know, you have those barricades, right? Which, so they had one of these barricades, and there was 2 sides which you could go through, but you weren't allowed to, but you could go through. So 1 woman was here, 4 women was here, a man and woman was here, and I was here. I was in the middle, so I was in between the barriers, so I was most furthest away from the openings, okay?
Yeah.
You were stood there, in this space. You went, said, I'm going to the toilet. I went back to there. You came back. I was inside the spot. So she didn't do it while you were there. She did it when I was there. And then the police or something were making some noise. So she said, excuse me, chicken. Barge me out the way.
You've never seen anyone nick a place like it. She was a professional. She was good.
know. So I was like, so she was taking a video, so I thought, well, I'll give her a bit of time to take the video, even if she's barging me out the way. So I gave her a bit of time, and then I went back and I said, oh, can I have my spot back? She said, no.
So as long as you say, excuse me, chicken, you can get to the front of most queues.
So I was like,
she said, you
what,
nicked a
I was like,
place.
what do you mean you nicked my place? And I was here till 5 p.m. And I was like, yeah, but you were over there. and then the other one next to me turns around and says, oh, you barged in front of me. And I was like, what do you mean? And they said, you're nearer the fence, I'm nearer the opening. So I said, hang on a minute, the opening's there, you're there, I'm over here, you're nearer than me, actually.
I'd only left her while I went to the loo, and she'd fallen out with half the crowd.
It was only I forgot I have a friend I was still friends with. It was only because
She nearly got on Republic's side because the only person that speak to her.
I was like, what do you mean you barge in my area and you just come in front of me? You're more nearer the exit, so don't start saying that I'm nearer the exit when you are, actually. So then when we got to the top, because she was like, I in this corner, and I thought,
I in this corner, you should have seen them fight for this corner. You've never seen anything like it.
yeah, but I didn't go for the corner, so I thought it'd be worse of space. Turns out she did actually get to, I don't know if she did get to say hi, but I saw him over there, so she might have done. But still, I mean, because when she was saying, oh, and we've been here since 5, she wanted to repeat this. She made sure she keep repeating the saying, we've been here since 5, so we're getting that corner. And I'm like, just because you've been, and we still waited. And so I thought, well, I'm not going to touch that corner, you've got it. But anyway, once you did that, I was like, stuff you.
They opened the gates and they're all like, da-na-na-na-na.
They're
all powered up there. They could kill each other.
They opened the gates and they were ahead of me, but only so they opened the gates. They were the first people. I was second behind. They were slowing me down. I was thinking, come on, I could have run a marathon in this time. You're taking forever, and you barged in front of me. So I was absolutely disgusted in them because she was just, all you have to do is, she just literally barged in front of me and said, excuse me, chicken. I was like, God, you saw it.
Wait 5 hours, and there's people, certain people always use the kids, so it was obviously
that
kids.
one
They
as
always
well.
use the kids to get a place. So we'd waited 5 hours with the sole intention of obviously getting the best place. But the way they'd said they barricaded it off, so unless you knew, you didn't know that space was opening. So basically you could wait 5 hours and get the front line, and then after 5 hours, when they opened the gates to let us through, you could actually, if you timed it right, which that annoying man did, you could actually walk in and get second row without having waiting at all. So it was 5 hours difference between whether you were on the front row or the second row behind. So I got up there, we'd been waiting, I bought a collapsible chair, a chair that collapses because I have a muscle problem. So I bought that, and so I put it behind me. This was still only 2 rows now at the moment, and we were still going to have to wait about an hour and a half for the king. So I put it behind me, and this woman comes up and she goes, go under there, lad, go under there, to her grandkids. And I was filming at this time, and she says, if that woman didn't have her chair there. So I carried on filming. I thought, I'm not wrecking my film for you, love. So I turned around afterwards and I looked at her and I said, that woman with her chair has waited 5 hours. I says, well, you've just done 5 minutes. And she goes, and she never came back again. But they always use the kids instead of getting there early. They'll say, oh, well, it's just my child that wants to do it. Abby says knob, but it's quite a while ago, so I don't know if she's talking about Abby or to anybody, actually. I don't know who the knob is. Guy says, Matilda, did the King get your album?
No, because I think even I paid him £1.50. No.
Did you pay £1.50?
It said I paid £1.50 in tax for him.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So even though I paid £1.50 for this year, no.
No, he
and all the
didn't.
other years.
Well, I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you
Yes,
why,
was
the
because of
reason why.
that.
So that man that pushed in, he put his hand out, and if you go on the short videos, you'll see where, I can't remember what it's headed, but something like me meeting the King. It's one on her short videos. You'll see the whole time there's a hand there. Now, out of that shot of that hand, right next to me, who's next to Matilda, is his security guard. And the reason why the King turned when he did was because that hand was blocking his vision. Now, that hand could have obviously slapped him. So the security guard nodded to the King and he went on the other side, otherwise Matilda. So not only did that guy jump in, he stopped the King from meeting Matilda.
And the other thing, just down from me, like just next to you, there was a woman with a baby. And she was like, oh, I would really like the baby to meet the King.
So they missed me. I wasn't bothered in the slightest. That didn't bother me. Matilda desperately wanted to meet him. And the lady next to me wanted to meet him. That missed me out. Because Matilda says, well, what about you? I says, I'm not interested. You know, I like seeing him, but I'm not interested in shaking his hand or anything. If he does, fine. If you really want to do it, you make sure you prioritise yourself. And I said to the lady, you can go in front of me if he wants to shake hands. Oh, yeah. He missed us 3 out. That was it. Because he had to get away from that man's hand. Because when I had my iPad up, the man said, can you move it a bit? Because it's a block and they don't know what's behind it. They can't keep their eye on it. Because I could hit the King with the iPad. He could slap him with his hands. So that's why they move him. So there's too much obstruction. Oh, he was annoying. There's an annoying person, that. Abby says the knob. No, let me just say. Abby says the knob. No, and Abby says the knob was, I forgot who I was talking about.
Listen, you know, and he said to those women, he says, oh, do you mind if I shake my hand because I'm the biggest monarchist here? Well, you know.
No, she said, didn't she? She said, she says, no, so am I.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you're the biggest monarchist here, then why weren't you the first here? If you're the big monarchist, you would be here first.
And you would have shook his hand before, because you go to everything that he does. Because
You're
he wasn't a youngster.
No.
He must have been in his 30s, 40s. So he would have followed him and he would have already shaken his hand like I've shaken his hand before. So I said, no, if you want to. Because I've already done it. I can't carry on shaking his hand. I've already done it, haven't I?
But, you know, he's not the biggest monarchist, is he?
Abby says, so what if she'd been there since 5? She kept using it as a thing, like she was the winner.
But I was there since 8, yeah, I know it's 2 hours difference, but I still had to wait all those other hours. And
you didn't take her place,
exactly,
did you?
I didn't take my space. I was inside the space which nobody else was in, and she came into my spot.
It's been quite emotional for us, you can see, Abby.
Well, I have to, it's her, and there's that man, you know, there's a lot to think about here.
Adrian says, this happened to me at a gig. I was a little upset. I left in the end. The band were rubbish. Jill says hello from the USA.
Hello.
Nesta says hi. And YTU says I helped the Princess Royal get to motorcade a few years ago. And Ricky ate too many eggs.
What is that?
You do that Easter, don't you, love? So you've just got that one?
No.
I think that's it. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So for anybody who last time quite a few people knew about it, I'll try and find it. I did a video on this, been built, if you want to go back and watch it, but it isn't working at the moment because they're struggling to get the electric into it. So this is the lift at Horton in Ribblesdale, which was put across because you had to cross the track before, and it's on the Three Peaks Walk. It was a multi-million pound project, and Network Rail blaming Electricity Northwest for the delay. So this is a footbridge. It's at Settle Carlisle. It's on the Settle Carlisle line, and it's not been working because the lift doesn't work. So obviously that was the whole reason why it was put in, because they're getting difficulty to supply power to the units. They said, we're working with Electricity Northwest to resolve this and anticipate them to be in operation by the end of the year. You think they would have worked the electric bit out, wouldn't you? Well, this is a difficult question. Well, if I was going to build a multi-million pound project, and it was going to go up and down and needed electric, I'd have worked that out. It would be one of my main things. Like the first, somebody said, oh, we're going to build a whacking great bridge across there. Oh, why are you doing that? Get disabled people across. It's going to have a lift either side. I'd say, how are you going to get the electric to operate it? Because there's no electric here. Oh, that's a good idea.
But it's not, I mean, I don't know how it's run. It might be solar panels or something. But there's
No, it's
buildings
not.
near it, though.
You can't have solar panels. What if you...
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's buildings near
I know,
it.
that's what I mean. Why haven't they worked it out?
Yeah, but if there's buildings near it, surely just...
Surely
get
when
the
they're digging up,
electricity,
that
though.
would be one of the first things
No,
that go in.
yeah, but if there's buildings near it, can't they just dig, you know,
Well, yeah.
attach electricity?
Yeah.
So why won't it be a problem?
I don't know.
Because of...
Well, there's lights on the station platform.
Yeah,
and
so there's
everything.
obviously electricity there.
Yeah.
So why can't they just take it?
I don't know.
Because surely the people who've made the bridge on the station...
Yeah. I
So
don't
if you
know.
own your own land, you can just connect your electricity. It's only literally like a lift, I would presume, is like putting up another light. Just a whole lot more excessive,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Well, I suppose you
just
can plug
plugging
it
it
in.
in, aren't
Yeah.
you?
I suppose if you brought a lift
Well, if-
here and plugged it in, it would work.
If you want to put up another light inside your house, you just wire it up, don't you? All it is like wiring up. You've got electricity there. You don't have to do any extras. You know, you don't have to get anything.
They could get an
special.
extension, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Why didn't they just run an extension and plug it in? Ah, they've not thought this through. I'm going to have to contact them.
Just get a connection.
Yeah.
You know.
So all they need is an
Well, it's
extension.
like
You can
the
get one off Amazon or anything.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to have a word with them.
Yeah, it's just
Abby says,
ridiculous.
would expect nothing less. Dave says, 2 companies not communicating. Who'd have thought it? And Anders says, an elevator was installed in a train station in Sweden. When it was supposed to be used, it turned out that the elevator door opened towards the stairs, towards the rails. Oh dear, so I had to presume that it wouldn't open. It's not good, is it?
No.
Right, so I think we've done everything. Oh, I've not done that one. We've done that one. It's been a good day, hasn't it?
Mm.
Good chat. Plenty of people on, which is good. And there's just your exciting news. Oh God, so many pictures. There you go.
So really delightful. So I will be opening Armed Forces Day in Morecambe, which is a very big event. Loads goes on there, and I will be opening it performing. So it'll be 10
o'clock.
10 o'clock.
So this will be the
Near the
biggest
platform.
audience she's been in front of. So we're really, really, really excited, and really massive thank you to the Armed Forces Day for obviously inviting her along.
Yes, it should be very exciting. So you can come down. I already know somebody's coming, so it's going to be very exciting. And you can get yourself down there and come.
Yeah. So is that everything? Did you want to witter about anything else? Does anybody else want to witter about anything else?
I don't.
Abby says terrible about the first story. It's shocking. Have a look on it, Abby. Amanda Blooms. I don't know if her last name was Blooms or that was what she called the thing, but it's Amanda Blooms. And it's craft, and you'll find it all on the internet. And as I say, read it, but have a trigger warning with it. It's shocking. I mean, I think I'm quite a tough person, but it's kept me awake at night, really, thinking about it. It just goes through my head over and over again. How shocking it can be, how somebody's been pushed to do that. It's just heartbreaking to me. It really, really is. But yeah, have a look at it and Google it. The guy says, "Don't leave us now."
Don't leave me.
Van Transit, has it started yet? Has what started yet? We're about an hour in. I think we're nearly going. I think we're about an hour in.
Yeah.
Guy says this conversation is good. Thank you, Guy. Yeah, we usually have the news is really, really good. And it says you are a big star now. Jens is on.
Hello.
And Turbo Tim Wells is on. You're all a bit late. We're going.
I mean, I can mention Tay-Tay if you want.
Yeah, she can mention Tay-Tay.
So Tay-Tay.
Okay, so can I just say, because I'll go, can I say a big massive thank you to Guy and a massive thank you to Adrian.
Of course, thank you so much for your help.
that.
Very much
And,
appreciated.
And Abby says, please don't.
I have to just
I don't think she
quickly-
means please
it's
don't go.
tradition.
Just, please don't mention Tay-Tay.
It's tradition.
But yeah, thank you all.
Tay-Tay has been to a wedding. She went to a wedding with Travis. She's been to a hospital. And she went to a game. I was a bit confused by what game she went to, but she went to watch a game, but I don't know whether she went to like watch Travis's team or something.
Bye all.
Where are you going?
Oh, you just let you do the tay bit.
I'm nearly finished. Can we just wait? It's not very nice, isn't it, leaving me? Oh, thank you, Adrian. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much.
You're a superstar, Adrian.
You are indeed. It was very nice of you. Thank you.
Absolute superstar. Thank you so much, Adrian.
Thank you.
We really look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Yes, we'll be doing some dances and some songs and some new dances as well. There will be a live stream.
As long as we can get connection.
As long as we can get connection. But I have done a live stream near there, which is just around the corner. I did get a connection for that, so I should manage to get connection for it. So there should be a live stream that day as well. Oh, you are Bill busy. Thank you very, very much for that.
Thank you so much, Guy. You're a superstar.
Thank you.
It's
very,
really,
very
really
nice.
kind of both of you.
Yes.
Obviously, it helps the channel immensely. Because you know, things like this we took. Although I did want to read about that story, I really for what happened and for my own personal thing, because it's happened to me. You know, it takes a lot of research for it to do all the news, so things like that I just really, really appreciated.
Yeah, because like,
so much.
You know, reading and stuff, I'm always like 10 million times more longer than everybody else. You have to like sort of memorise it inside of a sense.
And
so,
Dave says it's been a good session as usual. Thank you, Dave.
Yes. And yeah, so thank you very much for that. Thank you very much.
Adrian says, I love your dancing. You love these, Adrian. I'm not going to say too much about it, but they are obviously the armed forces is all the time, but you tend to, when you go to these armed forces day, they tend to do the old songs, which they all enjoy, not modern one. Although there wasn't armed forces day, they did when the King came, the band did George Ezra, didn't they? It was brilliant, wasn't it? It was really good.
And it was quite good, like, feeling as well, because everybody's, like, dancing along to it, so it's quite good.
Yeah.
The lady next to me, like, she was wonderful, but she was just, like, made such funny comments, and she was like, when they started playing the older stuff, she's like, oh, I wish they played the more modern stuff now.
She says it was hardly George Ezra, is there?
Oh, yeah, that's what she said.
I can't play George Ezra the whole way through with everything.
Yeah, and she was a big fan of Elvis.
But they were dressed as a band in all their armed forces gear, so they got away with playing modern things, whereas Matilda went and played modern songs. It just wouldn't be right. But, so she's done a whole new set, and it is absolutely brilliant. Adrian, it's getting really, really well. It was weird, the fact of like, this sort of just literally came out, right, and there was this full massive big band. There was so many of them, they all brought out the kit out, and we're thinking, oh, right, this is this is band time, you're going to have it, you know, all the time for the King coming. Now this is before the King came, and they did the band, they played 2 songs, George Ezra another one, and then they just got up and left. I was like, what was that? And they just came and did some songs and then left. And I was like, okay, and the King didn't even come. It wasn't like they got up and the King came and then they went in with the King. They just left. I was like, because the King didn't come. I was like, that's kind of strange. But yeah, it was a good day, wasn't it? Oh yes. I mean, I can understand why people, you know, don't like him. That's fine, but you've still got the atmosphere of the day, haven't you? Which he does bring. There was, I mean, it was a Monday, so a majority of people have been at work, weren't they? And it was still absolutely packed, wasn't it? Imagine it being a weekend. Well, a lot of people travelling from like Blackpool and stuff and further, so you know they'll all be there. It's all money to the area, isn't it? Yeah, end of the day. Yeah. So that's what really they're there for. Yeah. To bring everything in. Yeah. But. And that's obviously, you know, charity work. So I suppose if they go to charities, they bring a you know, shine onto it, don't they? But yeah. No, thank you again very much for them super thanks. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. Really, really nice. And yes, it will be good. The show next week. And I do have some little things also planned throughout the week, which will be videos. I do also have some videos as well, which I need to get out. I just have a lot really I need to post. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. And also my music account, actually, I'll just quickly show you because I am planning on doing a video this week on that as well. I just need to sort of work it around the weather. My weather's been a bit of an issue. But I'll just quickly show you this. So check out my music account. Here we go. Matilda Walden Music, MRW Music Official, because of a video will be coming out on there this week. And then also check out, because if you haven't already checked it out as well, so please do also subscribe, it'll bring you a bit more of an evening. I do also check out my little horsey account as well. And there you go, Matilda Walden, all things horses, because that's what it's about, it's all things horses. And then I know this, I think this is like the advert area of the news. I haven't been doing the adverts for a while though, so it's more interesting. Don't forget to check out my mother's account as well, Jane Walden, as well, spelled with a Y. I know that I'm on there, but it's like all mothers. She's sort of like a bit on and off about. I did my first live. I've had 37 views. She did do a live. As well. You can see that as well. Now, Have I met more? I might have
No,
had more.
people might not notice this. Okay, now, look, so she did this live, right? Now what I did was when she was doing the live, I wanted to act like, because I thought in case people see it that don't know me, I wanted to act like I could drive. So she was like saying, "Oh, you're really fast." I was like, "Yeah, I am." She's like, "Oh, you're number one here," and you was like, "Yeah, I am number one." You know, 'cause I was thinking somebody on here might just believe that I'm the top person, so we'll keep this going.
Sorry, she's a bit sad.
Yeah. So you can see that as well. So but I just sort of felt like I was a bit, yeah, I don't know, yeah. But
I had 41 views.
oh well done, yeah. So
Top live.
go check out them as well. But yeah, I was, yeah. Because the thing is, for people that most races, number one's the top person, aren't they? But in this case, number one's not. So, but I was number two. But I think it's all, you know, your engines and all that, really. It doesn't necessarily mean, because somebody there will easily have. Did anybody have the same engine size as me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the other micro did.
Exactly, but they all did, you know, better than me. So it doesn't necessarily mean by your engine size, but that's obviously they have to do it by something in the classes and stuff, because you have new people, you can't, yeah. But anyway.
Guy says I'm in Norfolk. How far is Lancaster from me? God, it must be 4 hours, mustn't it? Just Google it. Norfolk to Lancaster.
Well, I've put 2 is a unlucky number for me. Well,
4.5 hours.
it was a bit hard to, I don't think it was too hard because we forgot our numbers, so we had to tape it on. But other people did tape, so. You know, did you notice somebody, they printed the numbers off and put it inside the windows?
Yeah, did you? Have they seen your tape? When you did your toe, we had to go pick the car up. Somebody ran it back quite a way for us, and then when I got back, Billy took me back to pick Matilda's car up, and she put on with masking tape. She put on toe, because you have to put it where your toe bar is, and so Billy pulls up and I said, "Just wait till you see this. Wait till you see the bumper." And he just looked at it. He couldn't believe. He just couldn't believe. I could get a picture just like that.
Oh,
Let me go get a picture.
You're not fair. You're not fair. I didn't think it was that bad. Well, you see, I needed numbers, and I thought, well, I've got this tape, so I just need to use a knife. I didn't actually need the knife, but I did use it to make that toe, so that's the reason why it was so wonky. So I got somebody's knife. They gave me this knife, and I didn't realise how, you know, safe it was at first, but it looked like it was because it was had this case, and he gave me this knife. I was thinking, oh, I'm getting to the age where people trust me with knives. But I mean, I have had knives before that are very sharp, and I have cut myself once, but usually I'm fine because I am knife trained, you know, I'm not, you know, silly. But I was for some reason think it's quite shocking when somebody gives me a knife that's so sharp.
That's on the front of my car to say where the toe hook is.
That's his problem. I just don't.
So if there's any rally drivers watching and you need any toe stickers, make personalised toe stickers, just contact us. $9.99 each.
I don't really see the problem myself. I was looking at other people's when I was driving down, you know, because I was behind, you know, behind everybody else, thinking they've all got little stickers, haven't they?
What do you think is screwing the marshals thought when they were setting you off? It was oh my god.
I just want to make it obvious. You know,
It's really pretty obvious.
You know your phone where you can up your letters to make them bigger?
Yeah.
That was what I was going for. I had it at the biggest number because everybody else's toes really small. So that's why.
Oh, you got to laugh.
Do you think next time I should get some
GT Gaming
special
says, I
stickers?
subscribe to your awesome channel, which I hope grows and thrives and keeps up the good content. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much. That's very nice. Thank you.
And Abby says 2 is an unlucky number for me. Yeah, no, you did a good job. Right, I'm going. I said I'm going once. I'm definitely going. Thank you all.
Thank you.
And see you Saturday, Adrian.
Yes.
And don't forget to get there early because she is on at 10 o'clock, so you will miss her if you're slightly late.
Well, thank you very much for watching. Thank you again for the super thanks. Very nice of you all. Thank you very much. And thank you all for tuning in, supporting, putting nice comments and everything like that. So thank you very much for that as well. And tuning in.
And to you watching that, you know, we don't like, no thanks to you.
No. Just, you know, just leave it to do it.
And anybody who puts stupid comments, we don't like you either.
Because you're just...
You're just a damn nuisance.
You're just pointless.
You're just pointless in life.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much
See
for
you, Dave.
watching. Yes.
See you, guys.
See you all. Have a wonderful day. Again, thank you for the super thanks. Thank you very much. We'll see you all later. Thank you. Bye.